Universe Soldier. Welcome. Today, there's a thing or two I want to share with you. Because I feel like, you know, I'm not a scientist. I don't really go through books to understand stuff. It's like if I got an empty page in front of me and I just write down what I notice, what I understand, what I live, what I dream about, all those things. But, I'm an hermit. I never really go out unless I have to go to work, go shopping, go grocery store, whatever. But that's how I learned. Well, I believe that I learned a lot like that by staying alone, Because, we tend to try to find answers in regards to how ancient civilizations did this, built that. How did they do it? Well, first of all, back in those times, I'm pretty sure that people were more. People were they were working together. That's the first thing, and there was a lot of people working together. That helps a little bit, So nothing is impossible, You. But thing where I'm going with that is, I see a lot of videos, a lot of I don't know posts, documentaries that has to do with trying to recreate how it was. But the thing is that they use nowadays technologies to try to find out what the hell happened or how it was made. And I don't believe personally that this is how you get answers. I don't believe in that. Because words are words. Science, units, and words. But some things in life, they don't have words and to be described. So, when I'm alone, what I like to do? I pick up some stones, gemstones, and I polish them. I'm just not thinking. And you know how I do this? I just take another rock and just scrub them together. And, just like hands. One hand wash the other. So you see this rock, this gemstone, is pretty nice, right? It's quartz, I believe, but I think it's even more. I'm not sure. But I don't care. I love that gem. And, to me, every gem that I kind of, not excavate, but every gems that I keep close to me, well, they have a certain energy. And, I'm all about love. But, this stone, it didn't look like that when I picked it up. It wasn't. Well, I don't know if you can see. Try to rotate it. It's a pretty nice little. It's my favorite spider. So lots of people, they wonder, what the hell is he doing? Like picking rocks and just fucking looking for rocks, picking up rocks, sanding rocks. I got plenty of rocks like all over the place. I try to keep them in baskets and stuff because otherwise it would be a mess, you know? And you know what I discovered? The reason why I love to pick up stones, whatever, is because one day I found out something. I was alone, and I'm still always alone, most of the time. But by being alone, I gave myself the chance to understand and just go back to the source. In the nature, sitting by a tree of life in the middle of a field. And hold on, I just have to stop. And you know, the first day it happened, I I just paid attention to stones, and I saw a little glitter in one of them, you know. And I picked it up just for the, and I put it in my pocket, and and it looked a bit like this. You know, you see that. What does it tell you? Nothing much, right? If you plenty of dirt, it's not looking good. You don't see anything in it that is beautiful. And that's what I learned, that the beauty is inside of things also. So, you know, just to mess up, I would pick up this other rock, which also looked like nothing, right? You know? And because I didn't have, back in the day, I was not in a good stage in my life. So I didn't have money to even buy sandpaper, you know? So I was like, how am I going to do this? And that's when I took this other rock and I just slowly, just not thinking, and the sound it creates, depending on where you kind of work. And just by doing that, you couldn't believe how much things that I've discovered. Because, you know, what we used to do is when we want to learn something, we ask older people, right? And that's a good way. But you know, this rock that I have in my hand might be like fucking maybe 50 years, 50,000 years. You know? So I thought to myself that maybe it would be a great way and to understand stuff. But how am I going to get the message by doing that? I don't know. But I just did it because I wanted to. So as I was just scrubbing like that, you know, suddenly things started to shine. And not only that, I started to see some things inside the room. Look at this. There's different layers to it. And, you know, there's not only dirt inside of that. I keep on scrubbing. So, as I was doing that, at the beginning, I started seeds. I don't know, like this one. I'm going to show you. Okay. Hold on. Some things, if you don't go too hard on it, they start to take shape. And you know why I use a rock instead of sandpaper? Because a rock is imperfect. It's not in a perfect shape. So no matter what you do, while you go get the imperfect spot inside of this one without, sanding too much or putting it flat but erasing some stuff. So just like that. I'm trying to give it a few shots. And you're gonna see that some things start to appear. Small details. But when you pay attention, almost if something has been written. Like in the Egyptian time. The glyphs and everything. And not only that, you know. So when you think to yourself, let's pretend that you're the first human being on Earth. You're alone on a desert island, whatever. Just try to visualize, visualize whatever you want, but just try to put yourself in the skin of the first being ever. No cell phones, no TV, no electricity, no friends, no. Well, I was thinking to myself, like, one of the first things I would probably do is grab whatever I have around me. I don't know, see how it works, what is what and why. For example, taking 2 rocks and just do this. And maybe I could also learn something. But when you don't know a thing, what is the first thing you're gonna know or learn is where you went, is what you did. And by doing that, I'm gonna show you a nicer picture. But you're gonna see that just by doing that, it's not me that carved anything inside of that. It's that revealing lots of stuff. And maybe the human being at the beginning didn't have even a clue about what to do. But maybe by scratching rocks, well, the rocks showed the story. You see? And not only that, this rock is pretty nice because I'm not sure if it's gold but there's I don't know if you can see it.